There are graphics that, as soon as you see them, they already sell you a story, and this Sapphire Nitro is one of them. It looks premium, feels premium, and enters through the eyes. But the real question is whether behind all that there is a well-thought-out product, or just a spectacular case. This video is not going to be a benchmark or final temperatures. That will come later. Today, I want to do something that is also very important to me. Look at it up close, understand what Sapphire is trying to do with this graphic, and see if the decisions it makes make sense or are pure marketing. Well, let's start by seeing what the box brings very quickly, obviously. But the first thing we find is a backplate. It's the back of the graph. You'll see why this is, but it's quite heavy. Huh? Here comes Radeon. Well, weigh your gravel. Then we have, as always, manuals, warranty, etc., which we are not going to see, of course. We also have a box of accessories that basically comes with the cables, and then we are going to see it well in depth anyway, because there are some things that will serve us later. And now, yes, let's see the machine, this one. I'm telling you, I didn't think it was going to be so heavy. Let's take a look at it. Well, now if I see it firsthand, I have to say that it is very beautiful graphic. Materials. This is plastic. This looks like it too. The back is aluminum, but I really like the design, the materials, and from what you can see with the naked eye, the finishes are very, very good. Because it's one thing to see it in photos and another to have it in front of you and notice that there is a lot of mass here, more rigidity, and more intention for a premium product than I expected. And here something very clear happened to me. Having my RTX 5080, the first thing I did was put them one to the other, but not to make a performance comparison yet, but to see something more basic. But also very important in a graph of this level. How it feels in real size, how much it imposes itself in the hand, and how it distributes its weight. Because many times in photos, they all look huge, but when you have them in front of you is when you really notice if a graphic only appears to be premium, or if it really transmits that feeling. And here comes the first thing that really, I think it's very intelligent. And I wonder why the rest of the brands don't do the same? And it's not the RGB, it's not the size either, obviously. It's how they've solved the wiring part and the back cover part. Because not only is it cleaner visually, it gives the impression that Sapphire has thought about the assembly experience and not just about marketing and a promotional product. I'm not interested in just telling you that it has a 12V2X6 connector and an RGB connector. What interests me most is how it forces you to pass the cable, what bend radius it asks you for, and that inside the cabinet feels good. Or not. That has to be proven. But before continuing with this video, I want to invite you to the official website of Argentamatica, argentamatica.com, where you will find, in addition to reviews and the latest news of today's technology, well, guides and tips that will really help you a lot. And also to my Telegram, Argentofertas, where you will find the best offers on AliExpress, gaming, and computer science every day. And also, in case you don't use Telegram or don't like Telegram, you can also do it from the Argentofertas.com website. There are the same offers and the same discount components. I invite you to those two pages to at least go and take a look at it. We continue with the video. Well, here we have this part, as you're seeing now from above, that we have the connector. As I said, the power connector and the RGB connector. As you can see, it does not come out of this part. From the top like any other graph, if it doesn't come out of this side, and I think it's spectacular. But hey, we also have to see if it's all pro, or there are some things that don't convince. So well, as we see the hole where the power cable is going to be connected, and we are going to do the tests. Here we have the power cable, and this is connected like this. There it is. Well, we have it like this. We have to pass this through here. This black part, this film that you see, is an insulator because of the temperature of the heatsink. Let's see if putting it on keep touching the heatsink, because there's no way this is going to stay like this. For example, like this. Fixed, right? I would keep playing the heatsink part. I don't think it will do anything to it, because this doesn't boil. But hey, it raises the temperature. So, and the back cover is just for this. We have it like that. And this is magnetic. Here we have the points with the magnets. There. And we just put this like this. I think it goes like this. And there it is. And there it is. We already have the graph. Let's see if they are seen there. Let's see. Does this lid come off easily or not? It is a graphic that weighs quite a bit. You don't go out. See? The truth is that it magnetizes very, very well. So this is one of the best things I saw from this graph. It's beautiful because I hate that the cables are visible from the front, and I always said, why don't you implement something? There are graphics cards that already come with the connector for the power supply, but of course, you need a board, a specific motherboard for that, and they are much more expensive. So I think this idea is very, very good. But hey, later we're going to see it in... Let's see how it goes, and if this really dissipates the heat or separates the heat from the cables or brings us some problem. With a graph like this, size and rigidity are not really just another piece of data. Size and weight matter because if a graphics card is too heavy and not properly held, it can end up tilting downwards. And for that also includes this stand that you're looking at, which is a vertical stand. And here, the comparison with my 5080 also serves as a real reference because when you put one next to the other, you start to notice. Not only in which is larger or which weighs more, but how that volume is resolved, if the weight feels well distributed, if the structure transmits confidence, and if it gives the feeling of being a graphic put together with intention, or just a big card to impress. And that difference, when you have it in your hand, is much more noticeable than it seems. You can tell that the entire plate assembly is well assembled to prevent that bending. Also mention that when installed, it will occupy the 3 slots of the board and 3 bays of the cabinet. Regarding the video ports, depending on the type of setup you have, this choice may seem logical or it may bother you a lot. And why is this? Look, it's very simple. Because this board has 2 DisplayPort and 2 HDMI. And what's wrong with this? If you use 2 monitors and virtual reality glasses, it works for you. But if you use 3 monitors and are interested in the same definition in all of them, this is not your best option. Under this lid comes the RGB LED strip. There are products where RGB is pure filler. But here the interesting thing is not that it illuminates, but how this light is diffused and to what extent that makes it look premium, or that a cheap graph is seen. And in this graphic, it's not just for lighting, it effectively gives it a premium touch. This is where the part that really interests me begins, separating what is a good idea from what is pure marketing. And I'm talking about the front piece, which can be removed. So let's inspect a little bit to see what it's about. It's 6 screws. Easy. Okay, let's see if this implies something. There's a wiring or something. Let's see. No, look. You get out, you take it off like that. No more, like I said, 100% plastic, and we find the heatsink, okay? Obviously, with the LED strip that cannot be removed or anything, obviously. And the question is, what is the point of removing this? And I come up with a couple of little things, or rather, 2 things. If, for example, you don't like this, well, I take it out and leave it 100% uncovered LED strip. You're going to see these, where the screws fit in, and you're going to see the heatsink. But it also occurs to me that if you are quite ingenious and you have a 3D printer, you can print a front As it suits you best, you put it. Andy. What do I know? Whatever you want. Or covered. I don't know. With the 3D printer, you can do 1,000 things. But hey, I think that in reality function, removing this does not have. It is like, obviously, it is something aesthetic. But well, I wanted to take it out to see what we find, and nothing is what I tell you. And now I don't want to sell this as perfect either, because there are a couple of decisions that don't end up closing me, and precisely because I like the whole, those little things stand out even more. The front stitching isn't ugly, but it doesn't really fit with the rest of the graphic because the pattern is not like the rest of the design. The color is not ugly, but if you have a black or white setup, it may not be 100% harmonized. And also something that I don't think is right is the choice of the output of the videos. As I just told you, it will depend a lot on the setup you use. So far the easy part, see it and give your opinion. But a premium graphic doesn't earn respect with design alone. It earns it when you put it to work and you see temperatures, noises, consumption, sustained clocks. And if all this that seems so well thought out translates into a good real experience, he earns respect. As a first impression, this Nitro seems to me to be one of the most interesting graphics cards that has come out in this generation at the design level. But now comes the part that really decides whether it's a custom that it's up to par or not. For example, yields, temperatures, noise, and sustained behaviors. So if you want to see if it can really become one of the best graphics cards of the moment, I'll wait for you in the full performance review. So friends, that's it for today's video. I hope it has helped you, that you liked it. If any of those things happened, I'm going to ask you to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, give it a hype if you're watching it from your mobile phone, and nothing, that you share it with your friends and family to be able to reach many more people. Without further ado, thank you very much for being there. Sorry. If you have any questions or comments about this product, you know, right? You stay in the comment box. Now, without further ado, thank you very much for being there and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.